Hello, my name is Martin Micklethwaite. I'm one of the roads policing officers from South Yorkshire Police. Today we're here to speak about vehicle safety in relation to commercial vehicles. That's checking the tyres, the bodywork, the weight that's distributed within your vehicle, and also any other adaptations that you've got to your vehicle, including tail lifts. So now we'll have a walk around of the vehicle to show you what we check for in order to look at road safety. So as we go to the vehicle, we're looking at the headlights, we're looking at the indicators, we're looking that they're working and illuminated. If you see a bulb that isn't illuminated, then that needs changing or looking at the nearest garage. As we continue around the vehicle, we look at your tyres. So we're looking at the tread depth being 1.6 millimeters, but also we're looking at the edge of the tyre, looking for any breaks, any tears, anything that would cause a safety issue for this tyre and the tyre to lose either pressure or to burst. In relation to tyres, we need to be checking the pressures of them tyres to make sure that the correct setting for the loads that you're going to be transporting. The tyre pressures can be found within the door pocket of your vehicle. The first one tells you that it's for your front axle, so your front tyres, and that tells you the correct pressures that you should be putting in, and also the next one is your rear tyre pressures, so that tells you the weights and the tyre pressures that should be in for those weights of your vehicle. We then follow down the vehicle and we're looking at the bodywork. We're looking at any sharp jagged edges that might be coming out, anything that could cause injury to somebody and cause injury to yourself as well. And as we continue back, we're then checking your rear lights to ensure that people can see that you're there, and also to see what's at the back of you, including any tail lift. So we're looking at the tail lift that's secure and that isn't coming away from the body of the actual vehicle, and that it's not going to fall down as you're driving. So we check the normal lights are illuminated. We then check your brake lights, which are now illuminated. We then check your fog lights to the rear, which should be used when conditions deteriorate, and also your reversing lights, which are also illuminated. So as we then move down the other side of the vehicle, we check that the door can slide and open from the back, so that we can check obviously that that's all working and that there's no danger of that door coming loose from the vehicle, and that when it opens it's not going to fall off onto whoever's opening that vehicle. We're also checking your wing mirrors to make sure that the glass is in them, and also to check that the lights, the indicators are illuminated and work properly. So in relation to checking vehicles, we also check the lights that are functioning on the vehicle. So now we put the main lights on, and then we also have the main beam. We then check the indicators. So we check the offside indicator first, and we then check the near side indicator. And that's to ensure that people can see that you're on the road in any weather condition that you may deem necessary to put your lights on. So whilst we're out on the roads, we're looking for vehicles that are overweight and overloaded. What we look for is a suspension at the back to see how low that is. And that gives us an idea of whether we need to bring that vehicle and start to look at the weights within the vehicle. The weights within the vehicle include the load and the people that are within it, so the driver and the passenger. In order to find the weights for your vehicle, we look in the passenger door pocket. We can also look in other areas of the vehicle under the bonnet. This plate here will tell you the weights for your front axle, so the front of your vehicle. It'll tell you the weight for the rear axle, so the rear of your vehicle. It will also tell you the overall weight of your vehicle. Also on there will be a train weight. That train weight is your vehicle plus a trailer. So it includes the weight of your vehicle, your load, your passengers, and also the weight that's on your trailer as well. and that is all documented on this plate within your vehicle, which is easy to find. The responsibility for the weight of that vehicle will always fall to the driver. It is your responsibility to know what your vehicle weighs and whether you're overweight. So what we're doing here at the Weighbridge is bringing vehicles in and checking their weights. This is particular in relation to you as a driver because you have to ensure that your vehicle is at the right weight and underweight. It's your responsibility to ensure that your vehicle isn't overweight, because if you're brought in here and your vehicle is overweight, you're the one that's responsible for the fine in relation to that vehicle that you're driving. In relation to consequences of having your vehicle overloaded and overweight, it can have a number of factors. It can affect your braking, so the weight of your vehicle will affect your time to stop if you're coming up against standing traffic. It'll also affect the stability of your vehicle, so going around corners it could eventually end up tipping over and then causing injury to either yourself or other members of the public. We also then look at the load that's in there. Can that come through the cab and into you? If that's the case, that can cause serious injury, not only to you but then you to members of the public. So looking at load security, there's a number of things that you need to look at. You need to look at a system that you've got in place to load that vehicle with the packages or the parcels that you're putting in, to ensure that the load is distributed evenly from front to back. And if you've got a load organisation system, so how you put it in and how you take it out, you will always distribute that load evenly. So if you're doing drop-offs with parcels and packages, then you then rearrange that load to be distributed evenly across both axles. You also need to have a system in place to secure the load within the vehicle. Straps can be used in order to do that, and then you can ensure that those parcels, those packages or objects that you're carrying about within the vehicle are not going to move, fall or even come out of the vehicle should your door open, and that could then injure you and also injure any other members of the public that are about when you open them doors. So in relation to load security, there are consequences to not loading your vehicle properly. So if there's parcels stacked up within the back of your vehicle, they can fall on you and injure you while you're in the back of there. They can also have impacts on the stability of the vehicle. So again, as you go around corners, your vehicle can become unstable and potentially topple over, which then not only risks your safety but other members of the public. Having weight distributed evenly across your vehicle allows your vehicle to stop within the right amount of time, so no collision will occur in relation to issues with your load security on your vehicle. Also, if you haven't got things secure in the back, they can also come through into your driver's area, which then can injure you but also cause you to have a collision. So in relation to being the driver of a commercial vehicle, you need to ensure that you're fit and ready to go to work. So you need to ensure that the night before you haven't consumed too much alcohol, you haven't taken illegal drugs, you also haven't taken too much prescription medication in relation to any medical conditions that you have. What you also need to ensure is that when you come to work, you're not too tired, you've had your sleep and you're ready to be able to drive that vehicle safely that day. We also need to ensure that when we're driving, we've got our seatbelt on, we're not using our mobile phone, and whilst we're driving along, we're keeping to the speed limits to ensure that we're driving in the safest possible way. They're the main reasons that we have collisions within South Yorkshire, and we need to ensure that they're cut down and we don't have as many as we're having. So in relation to driving vehicles like this, you need to ensure that you have the right categories on your driving licence in order to drive them. You do that by checking the rear of your driving licence, or you can even go online and check your driving licence to ensure that you're driving these vehicles with the correct categories. Also, in relation to these vehicles, you need the correct insurance. So if you're using a vehicle for business use, you need to ensure that on your insurance it covers business use, and that allows you to either deliver or use your vehicle for commercial purposes. If you don't have the correct insurance and you're stopped by the police, there's a number of consequences which can end up with points, a fine, and even your vehicle being seized if that hasn't got the correct policy in place. So in relation to staying safe on the roads, in relation to your vehicle or a vehicle that you're using, you need to ensure it's roadworthy. So all the bits that we've gone through, your lights, your bodywork, your tyres, are all in a roadworthy condition to be out on the road, to keep you safe and other members of the public safe. We also need to ensure that your load is secure and not overloaded, and not causing your vehicle to be overweight, which again affects the safety to you and members of the public. We also then need to ensure that you as a driver not only have the correct licence, the correct insurance, but also you're not in a condition that's going to affect the safety of you and other road users. So in relation to wearing your seatbelt, not using your mobile phone whilst driving, not being under the influence of drink or drugs, and not exceeding the speed limit, all these things will keep you safe and also keep other members of the public safe that are using the roads throughout not only South Yorkshire but other areas as well.